Welcome back, my little subscribers. Today we're talking about more Leica M lenses for the Sony system. So if you've seen my previous videos, I'm still talking about my experience in exploring Leica M lenses and at the same time combining them with my Sony cameras. So I've chosen the A7C to be that camera to combine these lenses with, primarily because of the size. Now, when you combine the A7C to like an A7 IV or an A7S III, you might think it's not a big size difference, but with the whole top part being chopped off, basically, they were able to reduce the camera size to very, very close to what their APS-C lineup looks like. The difference between the A6000 APS-C series and the A7C is you're getting the full frame sensor and it is slightly thicker. And I think the grip is pretty decent in my opinion. I know it doesn't beat the A6600 in terms of grip. It actually might be similar, I can't remember. But we're using the large full frame battery that's in all the new ones. And then adding this thumb grip, I've just found adds to holding the camera properly with one hand. Now, if you saw my previous videos, you know I've been using the Voigtlander 41.4. I was using, among other lenses, the Voigtlander 28 F2. But today I want to talk about the other two lenses that I've been enjoying and testing out to see how this would work for me in terms of photo shoots or casual shooting. So today I want to talk about, one of the things I love about M lenses right now is how compact they are. And yes, it's because they don't have autofocus, and it's also their lens design. I mean, they make them more compact. They have years of experience making these lenses. Some of them have been made for decades. So they just keep improving and improving on that engineering to make it fit into a compact package. Now, the autofocus is no longer an issue if you're concerned about autofocusing because of the adapter, the LMEA9, the one I've been talking about from TECHART Pro. This adapter, just makes it a dream to use these M lenses or any other vintage lenses that you, but in this case, I want to talk about the telephoto end. And now, just by looking at the size of this, you would not think it's a telephoto, but this is actually the 90 2.8, the Elmarit M lens. Now, this is the slim version. So this one was a series that they made aside from the standard. The standard one was just like one solid shape. This one kind of cones a little bit to make it a little slimmer. So it starts to go slimmer and slimmer as you get to the point of the lens. So why did I pick this one? First of all, the 92.8 has been made for decades. The 90 is just one of those classic focal lengths that Leica's been making for a long time. And when I was looking at my options, there are several 90s that they've made. And this one happened to land in the affordable to semi-affordable price range, and I actually really liked the specs on it. I mean, it's 2.8, 10 aperture blades, everything else is manual control, you're getting the compression of a 90. What's not to like in this small package? And I'll be honest, when I looked at it online, I had no idea how small it was. I kept thinking it was going to be at least this big, and then it just turned out, with this lens cap, it looks even bigger, but it's so compact. It's amazing. So pairing this on an A7C has been pretty impressive. So let me just do that really quick. This is the 40. So here we've got the A7C with the 90. You see, it's still very compact, and it's a joy to shoot with. First of all, the qualities of this lens are impressive. I think it has that vintage look to it in the images that I've taken. I used it in a couple of photo shoots. I actually did a car shoot collaborating with a Honda Civic page, and then I did a engagement photo shoot. And both times, this lens just performs very well. With the car shoot though, those are the images I'll show you today. I was just amazed. We shot at golden hour, which is a plus, of course. But the way that this lens renders direct sunlight, you do get some mild flaring, but it's a little bit more glowy, which I personally love. Gives me that vintage vibe. It just created this beautiful glow on like a quarter or less than a quarter of the image onto the subject without being distracting, just in a very nice, amazing way. And it's just probably the coatings. I don't know what it is, but this lens has just been a joy to use. I used it for a couple of those pictures with the car. And 90 is a great focal length. I mean, telephotos are great focal lengths for shooting cars because you get that compression. They're just really sharp in general. But that's one of the other things I like about this lens. This one is not overly sharp, and it's not overly contrasted. I'd say it's actually sharp in the sense of more natural sharpness. And in terms of contrast, I'd say it gives you a very controlled, soft look. And that's something I like a lot. When I shared my images with my collab, he was like, your pictures don't usually look like this. They usually look a little bit more contrasted, but I actually like that they look a little softer and they're still sharp. So I'd say this was a lot due to the lens, because the way it rendered the car details, the sunshine coming in, without losing that sharpness and still being soft enough to look filmic, was really nice. And I mean, you can also edit your images and approach that look, but when you get it straight out of the camera and then you edit your image, it does come out a little different, because you're starting off with a level of micro contrast that is just better, and without needing to be over sharpened, over contrasted. So highly recommend. Very nice lens. I mean, and this translates over to the portrait side. When you shoot portraits, you don't always want every single feature of a person's face or the body to be overly sharp, overly contrasted. This gives you that soft look without losing the sharpness, and that's just amazing. So I'll post a couple of samples on here, and I recommend you try this lens out. I mean, it's so easy to use. Even if I didn't have the adapter, I did try it manually. The focus throw is a little bit longer, but it's not too long. It's kind of like 180. Yeah, it's like a half turn. Aperture click is great. You can find these in great conditions for 300 to 500 depending on the condition. I got mine in between there, but highly recommend. Check out the images, let me know what you think. In terms of autofocusing with the A7C and this adapter, I didn't have any issues, to be honest. I had it on autofocus continuous. With a telephoto, you do have to do a little bit more work in terms of actually manually focusing. So, and that's mainly because the range, the compression, the focal length is demanding you to actually adjust the focus. So I can't just leave it at infinity and expect it's going to focus on everything. So depending on where the subject is, if they're further away from me, I would put it in infinity. If not, I would put it in the middle, maybe 5-6 meters. And that's generally good enough for working mid to long distance. The perk of using the adapter, like I said in my other video, is that when you put it at minimum focus distance, it says it's a meter or under a meter, 0.7. You can actually get closer than that because the adapter's creating more space as it's autofocusing. So I think I can get closer to half a meter with this. So Highly recommend it. Check out the pictures. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.